Hello, welcome back to another episode of Cooking Like Medea. I'm Tania. If this video happened to cross your timeline, make sure that you like the video as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it, of course. Share it. That's what we want to have happen. So I'm back in the swing of things and it's Sunday. I like a great meal on a Sunday. I've been out to my worship service, praise in the park. I came in, took off my skirt, left my top on because, again, it was in the park. So, you know, and now I want a good meal. So today, we're smothering some chicken, we're making some cabbage, and some baked macaroni and cheese. Now, let me tell you something about smothering chicken. I've had a couple of people to ask me to post a video on smothering chicken. And there's so many different variations of it. You can fry the chicken first, which is what I grew up on, and then add it to a gravy and add some onions and peppers and things like that to it. I've come along in the more healthier side of things. And so I either like to bake my chicken or I like to saute it on top of the stove. And for gravy, so not everybody is good with flour and water and the onions and things. I get that. That's what I grew up on and I love it. However, if you don't, chicken flavored gravy mix will help you. Here's another option. Oh, try not to give out any. Cream of celery soup, or cream of chicken, or cream of mushroom. But my absolute favorite is to add a bottle of wine to the chicken, onions, and peppers, and some butter. This gives you the most decadent flavor ever. So you have variations to that. Don't be bound. Don't be stuck as you're practicing gravy. If you want to use one of the other shortcuts, no judgment here, okay? We're family. So I have taken the liberty to kind of cut up my vegetables and everything. And I have some water already boiling for my macaroni and cheese. But here is a new variation because I've been using wheat pasta. Healthier, of course, right? But I've started adding milk to my boiled water. So you see it steamed up. I'm going to add about a cup of milk to this. And it does the pasta, the wheat pasta, and excuse my back to you, it does the wheat pasta so good. And now I'm going to over salt. And we over salt so that we can get our noodles seasoned. If you've watched any of my other videos, you have heard me talk about it's all about building flavors. And so we start with the water that we're boiling the elbow macaroni with. And I'm by myself, so I'm not going to cook a whole lot of pasta, but I want you to get an idea of what we're saying and what we're talking about. And, you know, new place. I'm trying to figure out all of my angles here. So we're trying a new one today. You're welcome to say, oh, I like XYZ ABC when you do blah, 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 blah. Okay. Here is my chopped up green cabbage. Nothing more than green cabbage. This recipe is pretty simple. I add a half a cup of water because cabbage makes its own juices. So I only add about a half a cup. And then I'm going to use one of my favorite New Orleans seasonings, but this one has no salt. I always get the no salt one so I can control it. And I add quite a bit because I want flavor. I do not like when people sit down and before they eat, they're already seasoning it as if you think it's not going to be popping in flavor already. Taste my stuff before you just do whatever you do. That's nothing but black pepper, guys. And then on top of this, on top, I'm going to add some onions. And I'm going to add some tri-colored peppers. Okay. Actually, it's quad-colored peppers because I have red, I have green, I have yellow, I have orange. Yeah. It's going to be so good. And then finally, I'm going to add some smoked sausage. This happens to be turkey smoked sausage without the casing. And why is that important? Because for all of you, I only eat turkey eaters. If your sausage or whatever has a casing on it, the casings are only made in pork. Go figure that. And I'm going to add a half a stick of salted butter. I'm then just going to let that smother down. Like literally, that's it. You have to excuse me. You guys know I'm used to gas. This place has not gas, electric. And because I've added milk to my noodles, I have to keep stirring because I don't want that milk to pop up. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is get our chicken going. So I'm going to add a little olive oil and I'm going to season my chicken. And if you are from that new school adage where we don't clean meat, that's not me. I clean meat. I have already cleaned my meat. It's just what we do over here, okay? We clean meat. So my pasta is going. My chicken, and I like thighs. My chicken has been cleaned, made sure it was nothing in between there. And now I'm just going to season. I'm going to use my favorite seasoning. Excuse me. But to this one, I'm going to add some onion powder, some garlic powder, and then I'm going to put some garlic in the oil there. Because again, we're building flavors. For those of you who don't like the idea of using wine as your gravy Don't knock it till you try it. And remember, um, you are actually burning off all of the alcoholic properties and you're just having the flavor in there. So you don't have to say, well, I have kids, I can't use that. Cooking, cooking wine, cooking alcohol in general will always remove the alcoholic or the properties that cause the buzz. Now you may say, well, why isn't that true with rum cake? It is true with rum cake. If it's simply baked in, then you're fine. What happens is those folks who pour another shot on top, now you got an issue. It's not the same. Okay? Not the same. I'm going to turn this up to get a good sear on my chicken. And why would I want to sear the chicken? You sear it to keep in all of the flavors, all of the juices. It's always a good thing to do. It smells amazing in here already. While all of that is doing its thing, we're going to come over here, and we're just going to grate our cheese. Can you buy cheese already grated? Absolutely, you can. But it's fresher, it melts better. I always have an issue with this, don't I, guys? Oh, it's this part. Okay. Oh, put it in the wrong way. Help us today, God. Help us. I'm going to put all the cheese in the same time because it's all going in the same dish. I didn't use the whole thing. I used at least half, but I'm going to put it in a Ziploc, and I always put the label on there so I know what kind of cheese it is. Because unless I taste it, I really won't know what I'm working with. I also have some shredded Asiago over here. Now, my son is only a fan of, can you believe it, just the normal standard mac and cheese with the cheddar and the Velveeta. And that's okay to everybody's preference. And we're going to get a little closer so you can see it all. All right, got some more angles here. So let me show you. Getting that 20 steam. And again, you want to make it a little less fat. You can always use skinless. I want all of that goodness. Give me all of the smoke. It's coming along nicely as well. We close pots around here. We want to seal in all of the goodness. It is coming along. Sometimes on a Sunday, it doesn't have to take all day, you know. Part of the day, of course, but not all day. It's gonna make that macaroni so creamy. And I'm going to put my oven on 350. Oh, I'm gonna add a little garlic to that. I'm gonna mix all this up because it's all steaming together. Some people add a little sugar to their cabbage. Now, nothing wrong with that if you're trying to cut the bitter taste because cabbage can be bitter. What you should not have though is sweet cabbage. No sweet cabbage at all. That's just a childish palate. It's gonna be so great. You see all of the colors and all of the mixes there. It's gonna be a good time. Okay. So you're searing it. And because we're using chicken thighs, it's gonna always be fattier and more grease has popped up. I'm gonna get rid of that. I have a little container over here that I use. To get rid of some of that. If you don't want to pour it down anything, of course it's hot. So yeah. So now I'm gonna add my peppers and onions. And today these were all fresh. And why didn't I clean out the bottom of the pan? Because that's gold down there. We want that. We absolutely want all of that down there. If somebody says we want all the smoke, we want all of that smoke, definitely. So I'm going to turn this down some to add my wine. This is a Chardonnay. And let me tell you what I do. I go to the liquor store or the grocery stores because I'm no respecter of persons. And I normally get some of the cheapest bottles. Okay? Because you just want the flavor after the alcohol. And this helps with that. And so I'm going to add a full stick of butter. Now, these particular kinds of recipes, I don't measure. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. This is not in a cookbook anywhere. These are the things that I pick up. The butter is a thickener. It makes the gravy for you. Okay? I'll keep eyeballing it, and I'll probably be adding some more. I'm going to add a little garlic over here as well. So the liquid is going to gather all of that you saw at the bottom of the pan. It's going to gather that. And it's going to help in the seasoning of this wine gravy that we're doing. So I'm going to turn this one off and I'm just going to let it sit. You see that? And again, I've not needed to add on any more water. You don't have to boil cabbage. It's not required. Not at all. And to the chicken, I'll probably add some more of the vegetables just to get it where I want it to be. And so we're going to let all of that cook down. You guys know me. I absolutely have to clean while I cook. Because when I'm ready to sit down and eat, if the food I just come on, I don't want to have to do anything except put my food away and turn on the dishwasher. Pretty much all I want to do. All right, we're back. So I have drained my noodles and I have salt and peppered them some. And I have warmed up my heavy whipping cream and added all the cheeses to that. So now I'm just going to pour that over. And I'm going to mix that. Uh-oh. Now you can add your traditional cheese on top. or you can just let it bake as is. I'm still a sharp cheese girl, so I'm going to add a little bit of that on top. So the cheeses that are in there are shredded Asiago. I'm going to add a little bit more. Gruyere, Gouda, and a Colby. Not the Jack. Just kidding. Colby Jack. Well, Monterey Jack. And I had some shredded cheese here already, so I didn't purchase anything else. My oven is already on 350. And you guys see that? I made a small thing of macaroni and cheese. Can you believe it? Just a small thing. And I'm going to throw that in the oven. I added a little bit of salt to my cabbage. I have a video already out there for cornbread, so I made up some cornbread just in case you guys want to know. And I have been just making sure that everything is getting tossed. I added a half a stick more of butter. But you guys see, that's the gravy now, baby. I like gravy over my macaroni and cheese too, so. But you see how it's going? And then as we this is about done. I haven't added any more water or anything like that to it. And I'm just going to turn that off and let that steam. Don't ever want to overcook anything. I always want to cook it properly. So next up, you'll just see my plating. All right, you guys. The final piece of the puzzle. It's time to eat. My son and I, we love gravy. And it's cornbread.
There's our plate. We're all finished. Thank you for enjoying another episode of Cooking Like Medea.